is an island nation on the verge of major transition. Everyone wonders, when Castro dies, will that unravel the structure of that old revolutionary Cuban government and then open up the floodgates perhaps to a whole new way of life for the people of Cuba? Few Americans may be aware of this, but did you know that even now, the Bush administration has a Cuban Transition Commission already in place in Washington, making plans to move in quickly and impose a U.S.-led democracy in post-Castro Cuba? Cuban government officials that I spoke with are well aware of this and well aware of these plans, and they call it extremely arrogant. They tell me that they have their own elected government, they have their own political structure, and they have their own plans for their future. And then there's the matter of the people. What's best for them? While everyone watches and waits to see what happens to the world's longest ruling political leader, for the people of Cuba, either hope or fear is mounting. Hope for those who yearn for a better day and a better way of life. Fear for the privileged few who still believe in the revolution that was ushered in more than a half-century ago when Castro's regime launched a coup and took control of this island by killing or forcing those in power to flee into exile in the United States, mostly to Miami. It explains why today's Cuban descendants in Miami are ready to dance on Castro's grave when it's ready. But Castro himself has proven to be resilient and lucky, if nothing else, having survived through the years more than a dozen documented assassination attempts, some reported to have been orchestrated by covert U.S. forces.
No tuviera el más amplio respaldo.
But Dr. Ruben Remigio Ferro, who's the Chief Justice in the Cuban Supreme Court and a self-proclaimed beneficiary himself of Castro's revolution, tells me that the revolution has made life better for Cuba, and the movement, he says, will long live.
The Cuban Revolution is completely transcendental. The revolution is bigger than Fidel. It won't end when Fidel's life ends.
Other Cuban leaders echo that, saying that Cuba has already proven that it can function beyond Castro because he handed over power more than 6 months ago, and all is still well. But as I said earlier, that depends on your point of view. From this rooftop in the barrio, it's clear Cuba is in critical condition, suffering from decades of decay, neglect, and abuse. And the people here, though very, very proud, they're also suffering. Consider two personal stories. First, it's lunchtime at El Palio Paladar. On the menu, grilled chicken, pork and fish, stir-fried diced chicken parts, boiled potatoes with vinegar, beans and rice. This is one of the few family-owned private restaurants in Cuba. It's operated out of her house by 46-year-old Wilma Masvidal. She's only allowed to serve 12 people at a time here, and she operates under strict government control. Of the little more than $1,000 a month she earns, the government gets the lion's share of $671. She takes home the remaining $300. But she admits she's doing far better than most here. I asked her to tell me her dreams beyond Fidel Castro.
He lives daily. She doesn't have any dreams. She lives day by day.
Is that good?
Eso es bueno.
No, para nada.
After Fidel Castro is gone, would that be better for you?
¿Quién sabe?
Who knows?
Eso no lo sabe nadie. A lo mejor es peor.
Nobody knows. Maybe it will be worse.
It's a good job, but I like it.
Tony Tella drives a taxi and makes a decent living for his family, transporting tourists mostly.
Yeah, Canadians good too, Americans good.
The Americans are good, right?
Yeah.
But he measures his words carefully on the topic of Fidel Castro.
The country working better with him.
The country works better with Fidel?
Yeah, of course.
So are you concerned that if he dies, that it may get worse for you rather than better?
No, I don't think so.
You think it's better for you now?
Yeah, I feel good.
Some people in Cuba that I talk to say that it's not good with them for Fidel. What do you think about that?
Everywhere have an opposition.
Everyone has an opposition.
I born in the revolution, I live in the revolution, and I got a good work.
As a result of the revolution. So that all helped you. Now, are you just telling me that because would you be afraid that maybe it could be bad for you if you didn't say nice things about Fidel? Or no?
Sorry, I understand the same.
Are you just saying that to me? Do you really mean that? Or do you think that if you didn't say nice things about Fidel Castro that it could be bad for you? No?
No.
What I didn't know while riding in Tony's taxi is that he and everyone else could get in big trouble and even jeopardize their livelihoods if they speak badly about their government. Off camera, Tony tells me that he too wishes things could be better for him. But for now, he says, he'll keep his mouth shut and keep driving. I discovered that maintaining that kind of strict police control over the people allows the government to operate through fear and absolute authority.
Che, por tu historia.
It's the way Castro has run this country from the beginning, back when he and the late revolutionary partner Che Guevara rose to power. You'll see monuments to Guevara and other leaders all over Cuba, but you won't find many monuments to Castro himself, and that's the way he wants it. Apparently, Castro believes that monuments should be for the dead, not for the living. And though he's old and frail and in failing health now, Fidel Castro is still alive and still the head of this country. Until that changes, it's unlikely that little else will.